Hey everyone, it's Selena here. Alright, so in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to use the Samantha font directly in Design Space. Now, I'm going to ramble on here for a little bit, but I want you to understand the reason why when you purchase the Samantha font that you don't just see all the swirls automatically. This particular font is a PUA font. PUA stands for Private Use Area. So it's a font that's encoded with these special characters that you cannot just see off the bat. If I were to go into the edit panel of Design Space, pull up the Samantha font and start typing letters, it's going to be the Samantha font, but it's not going to have all those swirls. This font is packed with all kinds of beautiful swirls and different decorative looks. So in order to access all of those, you have to use a character map that's going to find those special characters for you. But it's very, very easy. And so in my tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use, and this is for Windows based, for a PC user. I will link down in the description box below to go to this website, and she has a ton of information that goes over how to access the Samantha font, and it also includes how to access if you're a Mac user. So I would strongly suggest to look into that. But for a Mac, it would be, instead of a character map, it's going to be called Font Book. And so I don't have a Mac. I don't know how to search for it on the Mac, but she should have an explanation on that. And so just look in the description box below for that link. If you've never used the Samantha font, you're very interested in making that purchase, I would suggest it's a very popular font, very, very pretty. And once you get the steps down, you're going to be you're going to realize, wow, I mean, I think I spent the money. It's a good investment, especially if you're looking for different looks. You can have one font, but just make it look different every time because of all those different swirls. So I'm going to have the link for that in the description down below as well. The example that I have here, the top is Merry Christmas. This is in the Samantha font. And the bottom here, You Filthy Animal, is in Curly, which is a free font. And I'll also link that below so you can get that free font. So this is I just typed in Samantha and it automatically defaults to the regular font that Design Space defaults to, which is, I think, I don't even remember the name, Cricut alphabet. Okay, so I'm already skipping a step. So let's go get that software that you need in order to access those characters. So like I said, I'm going over Windows. So in Windows, there is something called CharacterMap. And CharacterMap is already installed in your computer. It's nothing that you have to go out and purchase or that you have to go out and download. It's already there. The only thing is that what you would need to do, it's probably not going to be on your desktop somewhere unless you purposely saved it there. But you would just go to your start menu, however I'm working on a Windows 10. So you would just start typing in your search box, character map. And once you start typing that in, my computer's running pretty slow because I have a lot of things going on here. But it'll pull up. So there's character map, and what I did is I right-clicked it and I pinned it to my taskbar, which it's down here at the bottom. Now I still have that there, but I don't use it anymore because I use this one. This one is BabelMap. This is free, and that's what this is here. So again, like I said, all of the information that I'm going over, it's going to be listed in the description box. You'll have easy links just to get to wherever you need to be to get everything that you need to access the Samantha font. So I know it looks like a lot. I'm just trying to cover all my bases so that we know that for Mac users, it's called something else. And go ahead and follow that link for Mac users, and it's down below. But this is basically for Windows users, okay? So unfortunately, BabelMap is not for a Mac user. I'm not too sure. I know that there's software out there for Mac. I think it's for purchase. BabelMap is free. So I'm going to show you the difference between the two and why I choose BabelMap over the regular character map that is installed on your PC. Alright, so now that we have that downloaded, we're going to go to Samantha, or my text here, and I'm going to go into Edit, Now I already have my font installed. Just know that anytime you install a new font, make sure that either Design Space is closed out and then you open it up, because if you already have it opened and then you download a font and you don't refresh your page or sign out and sign back in, it's not necessary to sign out and sign back in. You could just refresh your page. But if you don't do that after you download a font, it's not going to recognize it and you're going to think, oh my gosh, it didn't download. You know, what's going on? It's just because the software is not recognizing that new font. Okay, so just do that and you'll be able to see it. So you can either start searching for it by typing the name in, or you can scroll for it. So I have Samantha upright. That is all I have. I don't have the italic or the bold. I personally don't need those two because I can easily italic or bold it in another software. So the $17 one is fine for me. That's all I need. So if you have a question on, okay, well, which font package should I get? It's on your preference. You want to spend a little bit more for that bold and the italic, and then also there's one that includes web fonts. Web fonts, I could be wrong. Correct me if I am wrong. I believe it's if you're like a web designer, if you need fonts for like a certain web-based type of thing. I don't need that. So the $17 one is fine. So based on the 17, 37, 55, one doesn't mean that you have the swirls and the other one doesn't. They all have them. It's just, like I said, you need BabelMap or CharacterMap or FontBook in order to access those. Okay, I can't stress that enough because I have people asking over and over, how do I get those pretty swirls? And I just want you guys to know that you have to access the swirls by using a character map, and that's what I'm trying to show you here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and change the font to Samantha Upright. And you're going to see that it changes the font to Samantha, but where are those pretty swirls that we're looking for? Okay, so let's make that bigger. All right, so I want a pretty swirl here and maybe the H, or, you know, whichever letters that you want to change to make them look a little fancier. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I have that there. I'm going to pull up BabelMap. And in BabelMap, you know what? I'm jumping ahead. I want to show you the difference between CharacterMap and BabelMap. CharacterMap is tiny. It's not very easy to see all the little swirls that you want to find. Okay, so if you choose just to use CharacterMap, you don't want to go get BabelMap. You pull it up. You're going to drop down or start typing Samantha. All right, but you're not done yet. Because if you scroll down here, you're going to see, well, okay, those aren't any of the ones that I'm looking for. They all look regular. All right, so you're going to drop the second box. Make sure that this is set. It says character set. Make sure it says Unicode. Okay, then the second box, group by, you're going to drop that down to the very bottom, which says Unicode subrange. When you click on that, it's going to open up another little box. If I'm going too fast, please take notes. It seems like a lot, but trust me, it's not. It's very, very easy. That, or the good thing you're watching on YouTube, so you can easily rewind or watch again. All right, so we had Unicode, then we dropped this down to Unicode subrange. Then this box opened up, and remember I had told you that the Samantha font is a PUA font, right? PUA is private use area. So I'm going to scroll down all the way to the bottom, and it says private use characters. That's what we're going to choose. You're done. Now it has all the different swirls for each of the characters, okay? Now I can choose any of these fonts. That's a very pretty A. It's very, very fancy. But to me, that's too little. I just don't want it. Some of these have like the Latin characters in here that have like a little stick above it, or I don't know what you call them. And I might choose that one, and then when I'm ready to paste it in here, it's not the right one. Okay, but this is how you do it. You would, let's go choose the, let's actually go for the S's, so we can change the first S. Okay, let's just use this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select it, which I have it selected because it's there. The box is showing me that it's selected. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on select, and it's very tiny, but it's there. So I'm going to just highlight it, and then I'm going to click copy. Okay, so I can scoot this over. So I have it copied. I'm just going to double click on the text line, and I'm going to paste, which you can either right click and paste. I use shortcuts a lot, so I usually just highlight, and then I use Control V as in Victor on my keyboard, and I paste. It's going to paste this little box here, but that's just the code for the character. But you can see that it changed to that swirly S. So I'm going to bring that character map back up, and now I'm going to go look for the lowercase a's, so that I can change the last A in the word. Okay, so I selected that one. I'm going to go ahead and hit select and highlight and copy it. Go back right over here and paste that A on that last A, and it has that little box, and there it is. Now you're going to see that the spacing is very off here, and in Design Space, and just depending on what software you're using when you're using these fonts, or any type of font, you're going to notice that if you use a font in Word or PowerPoint or Illustrator, whatever you're using, the spacing is always going to be different depending on what software you're using. Now in Design Space, the spacing is, it's giving you all this space because this swirl is huge. If I picked a swirl that maybe the swirl came over here to the right or something, it would be a lot closer together. But what you can do is you can either ungroup it and then move the letters manually, or you can go over to your edit panel and you can use the letter spacing and you can squeeze those together. Now the only thing with this, I could tell you that these are going to squeeze together, and they might squeeze together just fine, but this A over here has way too much space in between. So me personally, I'm going to ungroup it or isolate the letters, and I would just move them by using the keys on my keyboard so that they just stay aligned, or you can drag it. It's up to you. And just scooch them together like that. Now that looks way better. All right, so you can have you just have to move this out of the way, because with this letter being here, it's preventing me from clicking on the T and the H, because the A takes over a lot of the space. So I would just scoot that over and kind of mess with these and get them lined up. And of course, if I'm going to be cutting this on paper or whatever you're cutting, I would weld them together so that they're not in different pieces. It's all together. So there's, oops. I can see here that the T, I didn't have it close enough to the H for it to weld properly. So let me scoot that over again. And then now I can select it all and then weld it. Okay, that is so pretty. So you can see I just used Design Space, and I used just a regular character map. That would be the same thing. I'm going to undo my steps. I'm going to do the same thing with BabelMap so that you can see why I prefer it over the regular character map. Okay, by the time I get there, let's undo. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to use BabelMap. So BabelMap, under options, you have the option to change the size of this box. So you can tell already, just the box alone, you can see that the letters are bigger than this one, right? But let me change the font here, because this is a different font. So on this one, when you open up BabelMap, I would go to options, And then right underneath where it says pop-up magnification level, you can do 36 or you can do 72. I usually have it at 72. You might think I'm blind when you see how big the letter is going to be. Okay, so then under select Unicode block, we're going to choose private use area for that PUA, okay? And then right under here, single font. I think it automatically defaults to this, but that's what we're going to choose. And I'm just going to start typing in Samantha. Okay, so there's my Samantha upright. And then, let's get rid of this. And then we're going to go ahead and change those letters. So let's look for the S, the capital S. Okay, some of these you can see, well, Selena, you said that you can see the letters, they're cut off. Yeah, that's true, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on each letter, and you see how it gives you a magnification of the letter? That's that option that you just chose, pop-up magnification level. When you right click on the letter, it shows you a big old preview of what it looks like. Okay, so let's choose this one. I'm going to click it, and it automatically came down here. I'm going to highlight it, copy, come right over here, double click, highlight over that first S, and paste that one. You can see it changed there. You see all that spacing. We'll fix that. Go back to BabelMap. I'm just going to change that last A, lowercase a. So here are all the lowercase a's. Let's choose this one here. Copy it. And then we're going to paste it right here. And you can see that that changed there. Then again, you can change the spacing and then weld those together. So that's my reason for BabelMap, because you can see a lot better. You can see the characters. You see how some of these have those little, that one has like a little circle above the A, and then that little stick there. And those are just different, I don't know. Honestly don't know which ones those are, but at least it's easier to see. Look at that. It's easier to see them versus the character map. I wouldn't have been able to see that there was a little stick above my A, and then I would have had to redo it. Also, whenever you go through these letters, also know that there's not just letters. Look at all these words here. If you're doing an invitation, or, you know, look at that RSVP. Really go through all of this and see what you can create with all these flourishes. Look at that. That's so pretty. Okay, so let's use that as an example. Let's do that one. So I'm going to choose that one. I'm going to copy it. Okay. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to duplicate this. Okay. Now I'm going to just get rid of all of this and just paste that one flourish there. Oh my god, I love it. Love it. Okay, let's go ahead and ungroup this because I want to see what it looks like when it's spaced correctly. Let's put that there. Just squeeze all these together. I'll have also linked down below how I do it in Inkscape. I prefer Inkscape just because I work with it a lot faster than this. I like how everything is spaced in Inkscape, and I just work easier with it and a lot quicker. So you can check that tutorial out as well. So let's change it to black. When I'm working with font, and I like to see everything in black. Let's change this one to black. This might have not been the right type of flourish for what I chose on the letters, but it's so pretty. Okay, so I hope that helped you out. Please just watch it over again, take some notes, because trust me, it's just so easy. I know it can seem very overwhelming, and I don't want you guys to give up. I know you can use this font. It's just awesome. Once you get it down, you're going to be using it for everything. You're going to try to find something to use it for. So Leave your questions down below, and if you learned something, please give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.